Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. It is spring and summer fragrance survival guide time. Today I'm going to share with you guys 20 different designer fragrances that will all be linked in the description below that will have you smelling absolutely fantastic as the weather continues to heat up. When we're talking spring and summer in terms of fragrances, they overlap a lot. Fragrances I'd wear in spring, I would also wear in summer and vice versa. Same goes with fall and winter. So the 20 I'm going to share with you today I think would by and large work great for basically 6 months out of the year, like right now, unless you're watching this in the future in the middle of winter. And today's video is sponsored by Gorilla Mind. It's actually not. This is just what I'm drinking, and it's making my brain feel like it's on fire. So there's that. Essentially, it's like if you took a pre-workout and you were like, what if that were also an energy drink? Great. Like I said, my brain's on fire right now. Ooh. All right, let's get it kicked off. Let's just grab a fragrance. I got the basket of doom down here. Let's go with L'Homme Idéal Platine Privé. That stuff, I think, is just chef's kiss. It is quite similar to L'Homme Idéal Cologne, which is discontinued, and that was always a favorite of mine from this line. So to have something come out down the line that smells similar to it, I'll take it. Although it does make me question, why even discontinue L'Homme Idéal Cologne to begin with if years later you're like, what if we brought back L'Homme Idéal Cologne, but with a little twist? Genius. Well, like I said, I'm not gonna complain because this stuff is fantastic. It has that nice almond in there, clean citrus, very appealing off the top. A little woodiness as it dries down. Vetiver is what's gonna give that woody aspect to the scent here. This, I think, really can be used in about any situation, spring and summer. Perfect office fragrance, good casually, has a nice classiness to it, but it's also extremely appealing. Only drawback, a little hard to find in the US if you're looking for a discount. It will pop up at discounters, but then sell out. Next up, let's go with this one, Nitro Red from Dumont, Paris. This one's gotten a little bit of hype here and there. It is quite affordable. It's a clone fragrance, but sort of a hybrid clone. So at the forefront is going to be Invictus, Paco Rabanne's Invictus, but then there's also Baccarat Rouge 540 that's woven through this one as well. Those are going to be the two main aspects of the fragrance that you pick up here, and that also explains the red coloration as well. This is going to be another one that is extremely versatile, easy to use, a big compliment puller, and yes, while it leans maybe a little bit youthful because of that sweetness that it has from both Invictus and BR 540, I think that just about anybody can pull this stuff off. When you look at the presentation, it may look a little unassuming. You may look at that and be like, I don't know how great that's really gonna be though, but it actually smells really nice. And that's coming from somebody who is a bit of a hater when it comes to Invictus. Not Invictus Victory or Victory Elixir. Yeah, that's my stuff, but original Invictus, yeah, I'm like a certified hater. After that, L'Homme Rochas is the next one pulled out of the basket, and this is a very affordable blue fragrance. At discounters you can find this a lot of times under 30 bucks. To be fair, I haven't checked on the price here lately. Let me look real quick. Just gotta be sure. Yeah, it's still super cheap. I just wanted to be super duper sure there. I don't want to be like, yeah, you can find this one for like 25 bucks and then look online after the fact and go, what just happened in the past month? It's 70 bucks now. Nah, it's still cheap. So this one is, as I said, a blue fragrance. It has, once again, fantastic versatility. To me, it is vaguely reminiscent of something done in the style of like Dolce & Gabbana's K, though I do find this one overall more pleasant than K Eau de Toilette. And it's not the exact same as K. It's just if I were going to compare this to one of the big blue fragrances out there, I think it's closer to that than say Sauvage or Bleu de Chanel. So this one has blood orange and pineapple off the top, but it's actually quite aromatic. And that's probably the part that more people are going to key in on when they smell this one. You have some tonka in the base, gonna give you a little sweetness, not too much. You also have juniper, geranium, and basil in the mid. So that's really gonna give you that foundation for the aromatics that you're gonna pick up from this. So L'Homme Rochas, let's keep it moving. Now this next one looks cheap, okay? It looks cheap. The box looks cheap. I think the bottle looks fairly cheap as well, but the scent is actually really nice. So it's this one, Iconic Nuit Pour Homme Cerulean. And this is from Grandeur. So when you look at this, it looks like a Sauvage, sort of, right? Like a Sauvage knockoff, basically. It also has a magnetic cap, not a very good one. It barely holds on at all. Like, you can see it's magnetic, but yeah. So like I said, it looks like Sauvage, but it is not Sauvage, no. This is a clone of La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique. I say that because Jack of Clubs by Fragrance World is also an alternative to Bleu Electrique, and that one also got a good amount of hype, I feel like. So when you spray this on, you get that La Nuit Bleu Electrique vibe right away. It's quite close, actually, especially when you consider this is coming from Grandeur, you know, and it's in this Sauvage-y looking bottle. Much closer than you would expect just by name and look. It has maybe a little bit more of like a leather aspect to it than Bleu Electrique does for me, but still this is a fantastic alternative to that one. And Bleu Electrique, of course, in the US, very hard to find. Let's go with the green bottle up next, Cavalli Paradise Found. And I don't know why this is, but I always think that the name of this is Beyond Paradise, which is a totally different fragrance. That one I actually hate. I really, really hate that one. It looks like a weird little tick bottle, like a little tiny cap and big swollen bottom. Ooh. So Paradise Found, this was a release from Cavalli launching a whole new line. And yeah, this is all that's come out so far. I don't know if we're gonna get any more of these. Came out in 2020. What a great year, yay.
If I get Corona, I get Corona.
But yeah, came out in 2020, nothing since then, crickets. Which is unfortunate because Cavalli had the Uomo line, Cavalli Uomo, and those are actually really stupid good. Honestly, a lot of those are fantastic. So this is obviously a bit of a green fragrance in case you couldn't tell by the bottle here and also the marketing from the fragrance. It has a good amount of pimento seeds off the top. And that gives it an interesting, like slightly herbal, fresh spiciness. Then as it dries down, you get a good amount of cashmeran and musk that come out. It keeps it, you know, decently clean, although it still does have a bit of an herbaceous lean to it. The only real drawback here is that the performance is so-so. But it is a really nice scent, a good change of pace, and this one I think is a little better suited for spring than summer just because it's not quite as fresh as a lot of the ones we're going to talk about. And with fresh in mind, let's go with this one next, Missoni Wave. Now, whereas I was hating on this magnetic cap, this is a pretty nice one. You can pick this up by the cap, assuming you don't violently pick the fragrance up. I mean, if you really like, then the cap will come off, but you can see, sturdy enough, sturdy enough. Presentation also looks really, really nice, and the fragrance smells fantastic. This is one of the better aquatic scents on the market. I think bang for buck wise, this stuff is just a 10 out of 10. Because when you can find this at discounters when it's not sold out, it's not expensive at all. The quality is good. Again, smells great, big compliment puller. And actually, even at full retail, this stuff was not expensive, not really easy to find necessarily in the US at full retail if you were wanting to, at least not now. So this one has citrus off the top. It has aquatic notes in there as well. It has lavender, clary sage, rosemary, vetiver in the base as well. And at full retail from Belk, which is where I found this at full retail, $85 for a 100 ml size. Mysf up next, YSL Mysf. This is insanely popular, okay? Just like crazy popular. And it does make sense why. The first time I smelled this, I thought to myself, this is gonna be a huge release, even if people that are really into fragrances, I'm talking like, you know, collecting all kinds of fragrances and stuff, are gonna say it's boring. In terms of just how people react to this, amazing. Really clean, very easy to wear. A little bit sweet, but not overloaded with sweetness. Almost a little bit of like a clean laundry vibe to an extent, but extremely appealing. You can use this anytime, any place, anywhere. Mysf is a no-brainer as far as just a scent you can grab, spray, and go every day. Clone time again, John Gustav Amaze, or John Gustav Homme Amaze. All you have to do is take a look at that bottle and you know immediately what is going on. It's one of those deals where it's like, you just got the same mold, huh? just okay. So coconutty, sweet, tropical, and with a bit of freshness as well. This is a really nice alternative to Le Beau and also Le Beau Le Parfum. So if you can't find those fragrances, they can be difficult in the US to pick them up for a decent price, then something like this would work really well to get you pretty close, but for much less. Terre d'Hermès Eau Givrée is the next choice, and that I think is just fantastic. For me, it's like a personal 10 out of 10. The opening, citrusy, fresh, a little bit tart, you know, a little bit sour, but not too much, not overly grindy. And then as it dries down, you get that Terre d'Hermès DNA, that clean woodiness, very modern, very, again, fresh. So spring, summer, wear that anywhere. Great office scent too. And this one as well. This is Brioni Eclat. And this has actually been compared to Terre d'Hermès a little bit. Now, I think it's pretty clear when you spray this on side by side with Terre d'Hermès that, you know, it's not really the same. But when you smell this, when you first spray it on, you can kind of like, well, kind of, sorta stretch your imagination and be like, is that woodiness? Is it kind of like Terre d'Hermès? No, not really, but kind of, but not really, but kind of. Really zingy, fresh, brisk, uplifting when you first spray this on. Has some rose in there, but it doesn't weigh everything down at all. And that one also, some muskiness, clean white musk. Really, really well done. Not many people wearing this one either. And the cap has a magnet. So that means it automatically just gets 1 point better. Unless the magnet is like that. Ugh. At least I can hold this one right. Prada L'Homme Low up next. Super easy to wear iris. A little bit powdery and soapy, like you would expect from a Prada and also a Prada L'Homme, but this one is gonna be fresher than the original Prada L'Homme, which makes it better for high heat situations. And from discounters, not terribly expensive, all things considered. That smells good. There's also Prada L'Homme Water Splash if you wanted an even more aquatic Prada L'Homme, and that comes in a 150 ml size bottle. But between the two, I think Prada L'Homme Low, a little bit better. Then we have this little beauty from North Stag, which is Paris Corner, and this is 4. Or I think in French, is it Quatre? Un, deux, trois, quatre? It's been a while since I've taken French classes, so it's been a while, okay. Another one that's really good is North Stag 3 or Trois. That one also smells fantastic. This is a clone of Afternoon Swim from Louis Vuitton. So it's going to be a little more of a summertime scent. You know, it's not the heaviest fragrance out there, but it smells absolutely fantastic when you spray this on. Clean, aquatic, citrusy, easygoing. The quality there smells much higher than you would expect for the price point. And I also like the color. Pretty slick. Le Beau Paradise Garden is next from Jean Paul Gaultier. So yeah, see, look at that. Awfully similar there. Yeah, thing. So Paradise Garden is the newest in the Le Beau line. And it is not really easy to find in the US as of when I'm shooting this video. It should hopefully pop out at more stores as time goes along. I love the open of that one. I think it just smells absolutely amazing. It's enrapturing almost. Like when you spray this, you smell it right off the rip. It's really, really good. It has a good touch of sweetness to it. Of course, very green, as you would expect. And I think opening-wise, that's the best of the Le Beau line. And as it dries down, even if the opening is maybe the part that grabs my attention the most, the dry down is very solid also. So Paradise Garden, I think, a must own. This is one of the best releases of the year, pretty easily for me. Another clone, it's Neroli Riviera from Fragrance World. An obvious dupe of Tom Ford's Neroli Portofino. And I will say that Fragrance World in general has a lot of very good Tom Ford private blend clones, and it's very easy to see what they are when you look at them. Just the name and the style, you can tell immediately without even looking it up what fragrance it should smell like. So yeah, if you're interested in private blend alternatives, fragrance world has a lot of them. Extremely soapy, very fresh, very clean. Like I said, it is Neroli Portofino. If you like that fragrance, you will like this one. Bleu de Chanel is the next one, and this is the Eau de Toilette, mainly because the Eau de Toilette is the freshest of the bunch, though you could easily go with the Eau de Parfum as well. I mean, you could even go with the Parfum realistically, but you know, if it's really hot outside during the day, I think I would go for the Eau de Toilette. Bleu de Chanel, a lot of people would consider like the king of designer blue fragrances, in the sense that it's the one that pops into people's minds as the fragrance that really got it going. Now, there were fragrances before this that were blue fragrancy, right? Blue fragrancy, kind of in that style. But Bleu de Chanel is the one that really just elevated it and made it where all the other brands were like, we want something like that. Something like that, we want that. Us also, please, thank you. Kind of in a way like what Sauvage Elixir did. Yeah, that's what we're seeing now. Sauvage Elixir has led to 1 billion elixirs. Bleu de Chanel led to 1 million blues. It still works though, still stands the test of time. Bleu de Chanel, yeah, all spring, all summer. Acqua di Giò Profondo next. This is the new Profondo, but either Profondo works. Profondo, for me, pretty close to being like the perfect spring summer scent, at least as far as daytime fragrances go, because this is an Acqua di Giò, so obviously it's gonna work during the summer. And then this has a little minerality to it, has a little green touch to it, and some sweetness as well. So during spring, yeah, works really well. Profondo though, as I've said before, that's my choice. It's my choice of Acqua di Giòs, so I gotta include that. But if you prefer Parfum or Eau de Parfum or the Eau de Toilette, wear that one. Ralph's Club is my next one. Ralph's Club, vaguely similar to Yves Saint Laurent Y. Same perfumer. This one is not quite as sweet and is a little woodier and a little classier. But it still has that versatility, still has that compliment factor, that mass appeal, and it is a pretty popular fragrance overall. This is one of the better selling fragrances in the US. Got a fragrance alert. And for good reason. I think the stuff actually smells very nice. Much better than it first got credit for when it first came out. Gentleman Eau de Toilette is the next. Also, Eau de Toilette Intense would work quite well. Or Cologne, Gentleman Cologne. I actually really love Gentleman Cologne, which apparently was like the least popular of the new Gentleman line, so yay me. I can feel my brain slowing down. Good to go. So Gentleman Eau de Toilette, this caught a bunch of haterade when it came out. A bunch of people saying how it was garbaggio, no good. But for everyday use during the higher heat months, pretty nice. Has a little iris in there, a sweet iris, but still very wearable. And I think it's a great scent for basically any time when it's warm out. Good office fragrance too. And the presentation is slick. Almost at the end, the next one, Lacoste L1212 White or Blanc Eau de Toilette. This one almost forgotten nowadays because there are so many flankers that have come out in this line. Once upon a time, this was just part of an overarching line, all the different Lacoste colors, and they all had their own fragrances. Yellow had one, black had one, green had one, red had one, blue had one. But then this one was the one that kind of spawned off a whole bunch of other flankers. But it's good. L1212 White is really nice. This stuff has grapefruit in there, a little ylang-ylang as well. It's a typical Lacoste in the sense that it is sporty, but also very fresh and has a little classiness to it as well. You also have some leather and woodiness in there as it dries down, but at its heart, this is a fresh, zingy, clean citrus scent with supporting florals that add nice depth. And even though there are a lot of other ones, new ones that also can smell really good, like Eau Fraiche, for example, or you've got the Eau de Parfum out there, a whole bunch of other ones. The Eau de Toilette, the one where it started, this is still good stuff. Last but not least, Bvlgari Man Wood Neroli. That's stupid. Nobody says it like that. So Neroli once again, and Neroli is a note that when it's used prominently, just smells really good when it's warm out. I mean, there's a reason it gets used as much as it does. Smooth, soft, citrusy, a little pillowy even. You have fresh woodiness in there as it dries down. A little more masculine leaning than like this one over here, but still Just a great, clean, easygoing green fragrance that during spring or summer you can wear literally anywhere and everybody will love it. So there we go, 20 scents right here that during spring and summer will get you through easily. I tried to pick fragrances that by and large were extremely appealing. A lot of ones that are not too expensive. I mean, there are some in here that are more expensive, like the Beau, the new Acqua di Giò, for example, the Guerlain, but a lot of these pretty cheap. And yeah, just super versatile stuff that will have you smelling great when it's warm out. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.